Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tommy with Elevation every weekend here. In today's video, we're going to do my last in a series of videos covering the SURLY corner bar and the SURLY Moloko bar. Today I'm just going to compare and contrast them a little bit and help you decide which one's best for you. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to take a close look at both. So I am in the warmth of my indoor studio today, and I have the 2014 SURLY Pugs Ops here with the Moloko bar and the 2021 Salsa Bear Grease with the corner bar. And I wanted an opportunity to get these bars close to each other and get some good lighting so we can talk about them. So as I did say, there are a series of videos I've done on these bars, and I've linked all of them down in the description below if you want to dive deep on either or both on the installation and the detailed review of each. Today's video is going to be a little more higher level and focused on comparison and contrast between the two, and used as a decider for your preferences. Now I do consider both these bars to be in the alt bar area, meaning while the corner bar may be considered a drop bar and the Moloko bar more of a flat bar concept, both deviate from these in important ways that make them unique. And I now have many rides and many hours on both, and I can definitely feel I can give you some clarity on the strengths and the weaknesses of each product and hopefully help you decide which might be better fit for your application. And I will say up front, my experiences with both have been very positive and both are a strong recommend. But depending on your intended uses and application would determine which one might be the better for you. So I did just want to start with some basics for both bars, and let's start with the list price. For the corner bar, they list at $100, and for the Moloko bar, they list at $110, so very similar. And at those prices, I feel both bars are a great value. So both sets of bars are 4130 EDI coated steel construction. The corner bar actually offers 3 different widths: 46, 50, and 54 centimeters, and I'm running the 50 centimeter middle version. And the Moloko bars come in one standard width of 735 millimeters wide. However, much like most traditional straight bars, there are lines on the outside of the grip area here, and you can actually cut them down accurately down to 685 millimeters at the shortest. And I'm actually still running these in the full width size. Now you would think with the extra bar work of the Moloko bars, especially all through this area here, that they would be the heavier of the two, but they actually weigh about the same. So both of these weigh about 1.5 pounds. So obviously with their steel construction and at these weights, neither of these are geared to those who are highly weight conscious, but both of these bars are purpose built and do well to meet their niche in the market. So first up, let's focus a little bit on the corner bar. So the goal of these bars is to provide a drop bar option, but one that is compatible with mountain bike components and mounting to the bars. I did test these same bars on my SURLY ice cream truck first, and as it is my max traction and performer in the most extreme snow and high mountain trail riding conditions, I never intended these bars to stay on that bike, but I did really want to get a feel for how they would operate on a big tire bruiser like the SURLY ice cream truck. And as I said in that review video, they actually performed really well, surprisingly well. I think in 80% of the type of riding I do with that bike, they actually worked really well. It's just that last 20% of more extreme terrain that I would definitely prefer flat bars, which is why these would not stay on that bike. So when I bought these, I had always intended them for this bike here, the 2021 Salsa Bear Grease. It was with this very concept in mind that you see here. So the goal was always to match a drop bar option on the carbon frame Bear Grease with the 29 by 3 inch plus size tires that would be more geared towards performance and faster adventure riding and things like gravel and dirt roads, even mixing in some pavement and some light trail use. And they always also had the concept of adding the aero bars to this setup, which work really well on the corner bar. And just as a side note, SURLY says straight out on their website that aero bars are not compatible with the Moloko bars, so corner bar it is. Now as for the Moloko bar, I had always wanted to try a set of these and really thought they would be a great match for the SURLY Pugs Ops. Pugsley is a great all-around fat bike, but for me isn't my choice for the most extreme snow or trail riding like my ice cream truck is. And it's also not the most efficient choice for mixed use adventure riding like I'm going to use the Bear Grease for. So as a result, I thought the more utilitarian and comfortable design of the Moloko bars would be a great fit for the SURLY Pugsley. These bars fitted on this bike is a great match in that it can do a little bit of everything fairly well, and having the space in the center of the bars to mount the SURLY Moloko bar bag gave it another level of usefulness and utility. So this will be a great bike to have for me or Paige when we're out with the kiddo or the dogs. So now let's shift back to the corner bar and start talking about the hand positions. So when I initially tried these bars on my ice cream truck, I tried it with the controls mounted on the hood side. So this mounting point was on this side. And while I thought that was okay, when I shifted these bars back to this bike, I definitely wanted to try the controls mounted on on the drop side of the crossbar, which is how they are now, and it's actually much better in my opinion. You have much better brake access when you're in the drops. And having these brackets mounted on this side where you have ample space, it actually frees up the hood to be a little more useful, not having this in your way. So on the corner bar, there are 3 main hand positions of note. Obviously, riding in the drops is the main one, and then riding up near the stem on the crossbar. And then the third, probably the least useful, is riding on the hoods. It is functional, you can do it. It's not so bad, but I will say it's not as good as a traditional road bar hood is. Now it can be made a little better. You can get some foam and apply some foam on there and actually wrap the whole thing in tape and make it a little more like a road bike. Not something I wanted to do. But it is possible to improve upon it. But I do still use them. It is good once in a while just to put my hands up there just as a change of pace. But primarily I'm riding here or sometimes on the crossbar. And then on this bike, obviously, I added the aero bars, which is the 4th position I'll talk about a little bit later. As for the Moloko bar, obviously riding on the ends where the grips are is the primary area to ride here. And I do like the sweep of the bars. It's a little more relaxed and comfortable than traditional flat bars, mostly because the sweep puts the wrists in a more natural position and kicks the elbows in a little closer to the body. And this definitely makes for a little bit more of a casual, comfortable ride position, but it is at the expense of giving up a little bit of that maximum control and responsiveness of a true flat bar setup. But I do also find that this position combats hand numbness well, so if that's something you suffer from on traditional flat bars, you may find the design and the sweep of these bars to be beneficial there, especially if you're doing longer rides. The second major position, and probably the one I find most interesting and I frequently use on this bike, is riding in, I call them the horns. And that's kind of up here. It's actually the position I most often find myself when I'm just riding along, just putting my hands up there and cruising along. It's really natural and really comfortable. And then the third position is you do have the ability to ride near the stem, but when you have the bag mounted, you kind of lose that. There's not a tremendous amount of space there for that, so I prefer to have the bag than that accessible. But some people will wrap bar tape down here and actually use that instead of having the bag mounted. Speaking of bar tape, I haven't decided exactly yet what I'm going to do, but once I get some bar tape up here on these horn area, I think it'll make it even better. So just to kind of summarize the main differences between these two and which one you would want to choose, I think both bars offer good, highly flexible alt bar options at very reasonable prices. Really, for me, the only downside is with the steel construction. The 1.5 pound weight is on the heavy side. The Moloko bar is ideal for someone who values comfort in a more relaxed position, or maybe wants to do some bike packing and have the option for a good front bag that is stable and the top crossbar available to mount some lights or other accessories. While the corner bar gives a much more performance-based ride for higher speed, while still offering variable hand positions for comfort. And as I already kind of touched on in my application, it allowed for the addition of the aero bars, which essentially adds a 4th quote-unquote hand position to use. So not only can they be beneficial on the performance and the speed side, it can be a really good comfortable position on really long rides. But the main reason I got them is for riding in the wind. We do have a lot of windy days out here in Colorado and the Mountain West in general. And on those days, this bike with these aero bars still lets me get out and ride good mileage and have a fairly enjoyable ride even if the wind is howling. So if your bike application includes a little more trail riding, a little more technical terrain, maybe bike packing, yet you want maybe something more versatile and more comfortable, the Moloko bar is definitely the way to go. However, if you're trying to take a mountain bike or a fat bike as I have and move it more into that gravel adventure terrain and you're trying to get a little more speed, corner bar is definitely the better option for that. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please drop a like down below. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, definitely drop those down below. And if you want to follow my bike adventures featuring both these bikes and some others, definitely subscribe to the channel. It does really help out the channel. And it tells YouTube you want to continue to see this kind of content. Lots more coming as we get through the winter here, so definitely stay tuned. Thanks a lot and have a great day.